And chatting with Jibu is Dr. Shivani Rai Gupta, Chief Data Scientist at Jio. Dr. Shivani is an experienced AI and analytics leader with expertise in consulting, innovation, delivery, strategy, pre-sales, new product, and digital across verticals, offshoring, and now is one of the largest Indian conglomerate. She has a proven track record in crafting strategic and business-centric offerings and solutions involving cutting-edge algorithms and technologies that have generated extensive, quantifiable business value. Please extend a warm welcome this morning to Dr. Shivani Rai Gupta. I'd like to invite both of them onto the stage. I'd like to welcome them once again to this Fireside Chat, and it's over to you.
Thank you very much, and it's great to be here, and glad to have this conversation with you, Shivani. So I will open up this question: will AI eat the world? So if you look at the last 2,000 years of human evolution or the story of our civilization, right? It's often a technological leap that took us where we are. And there is this question, what is technology essentially means? Even paper was one of the biggest leap we had. Printing press was one of the huge leap we had in the course of our civilization, which was a effective tool in disseminating information, knowledge. And there was a lot of backlash against that too. So from fire to the wheel to printing press to electricity to computers, and now we are, in terms of technology, now we are talking about AI. And what makes AI different from all these technologies? Till now, these technologies did the job of replacing human labor. The physical labor to an extent, right? Because there's a printing press, by Gutenberg, you don't have to now write hundreds and hundreds of manuscripts. It will do that for you. Your time saved. Because now you have electricity, you have a lot of appliances running at home, a lot of things, your time saved, right? Or combustion engine, which prevented you from walking long distances, running long distances. But when it comes to AI, it took into another area, the cognitive capacity of human being, which for time long we thought that's what made us unique. And that's where things started to get anxious, or the questions and concerns, and or this question itself comes to the mind. So I will open this to a question, Shivani. What do you think? Is it a revolution or evolution?
First of all, thanks for having me, and thanks all of you for attending this session. First of all, good round of applause for all the audience who are sitting here. Thank you very much. Topic is very interesting. Will AI eat the world? I think somewhere, if we don't play cautiously, it can. It has that kind of a knowledge and that kind of readiness, the way we are putting a lot of algorithms and a lot of scientific details to AI. It has certainly can have that footstep where it can go wrong, but it is up to us how do we guide it, how do we utilize for betterment of human mankind, right? So when we talk about why AI is coming into the picture and why it is going to the next level, because it is able to do a lot of jobs which we never thought it will be able to do it. And also it is going to masses. Earlier, I started my data science or AI career, which was not even called AI 22, 23 years back. It was only limited to few enterprises, banking or retail, taking big decisions. But now we are using ChatGPT on a daily basis. We are not only utilizing for customer benefit, but also for think about a person sitting in a very small village in India, able to take doctor's advice because he has or she has a kind of a bot in the phone, which is provided by any telecom company, and able to understand if they have a problem or if they have a disease or they have to run to a doctor or emergency services. So those kind of things are able to happen because AI is there in place, and we are able to create those solutions which can reach to masses. So I also lead in Reliance Healthcare, some part of healthcare and agriculture piece, where we are only doing work which can
change farmers or a third tier, fourth tier cities person's life better?
I don't think 15 years back anyone would have thought that AI can reach to farmers and can help them to make their journey or income 2-3 times than what they are having right now. So that's the change what AI is bringing. That's the positive change where it is making change to everyone's life, not only from labor perspective, but economy perspective, their well-being perspective as well.
I want to ask you a question, Shivani, and I know you, I mean, I want to say this quote. So there is this quote by John McCarthy. So those who don't know about John McCarthy, he's a gentleman who came up with the term artificial intelligence, right? Before that, it was used to call cybernetics. And they were not getting funding for cybernetic research. So they said we should find a new cool name so that we will get funding for the project. So that's why they had this Dartmouth workshop and they came up with the word artificial intelligence. So McCarthy has said this, as long as it works, it's no longer called AI, it's called a software. And you being somebody in the space for such a long time and your work with and things like agriculture and healthcare, where are the areas or how do you see technologies such as AI transforming the life of regular Indians, Aam Aadmi?
So as I said that I manage verticals like agriculture, healthcare, and also sports. So you think about Rohit Sharma taking a decision on the field using AI. That's the one piece of AI where it is getting utilized for sports, in cricket, in football. What should be the ball? Bumrah should be bowling to Josh Butler when he is having a certain stance before he releases the ball. So all smaller details are coming into the picture because we are analyzing the videos day in and day out, identifying the pattern of how bowlers ball or how the batsmen ball, what are their positive, what are their negatives, and how can we give the suggestions or recommendations to bowlers and batsmen to make their life better. That's a very extreme case of probably AI. The reason I'm talking that AI, we have never thought that it can reach to these greenfield areas, but it is reaching there. Farmers' life, I'll give you example. So in India, it is all about farmer interested to go for a crop which is high in demand and then creating a lot of supply for that, right? Tomato price goes to 100 rupees plus, everyone will go for tomato in the next crop. But what will happen, it will create a lot of supply and there is no demand and they have to again sell the tomato in probably 30, 40 rupees per kg. How do we create an optimized system at a region level, at a mandi level, where we can, you can say, transform how many farmers should go for a tomato crop or you can say onion crop or a potato crop, governed by the regulation at that mandi by government. So we do a lot of demand and supply and also what is going to be the weather condition, what is going to be the climate, what are the new things coming up, all those things as a prediction. And we started with, so it is not easy because in India, the farm size is not been identified and no one knows how many farmers are going for which crop. So this all happens using AI, using satellite images. So we take these satellite images every probably 2 or 3 months time, identify the, you can say, area of each and every farm. Even with that, we also identify the crop type, and when the farmland is barren, we can also identify the soil quality. So all these small functions of AI are coming into the picture to predict what is going to be the yield at a mandi level so that we can regulate for next cycle. So it will take a long time. We are still in a kind of a POC mode where we are doing with a couple of mandis, but a lot can be done to make farmers' income 3 or 4 times. Right now, farmers only think about yield. They just want to grow more crop or more any kind of a thing. But they don't understand that that doesn't convert them to larger money. So that mindset needs to be changed, and that is where AI is coming into the picture.
This is where I want to challenge your statement here. Now, yes, it's great. These technologies exist. And to an extent, they give results. Like I have seen some of the work of some of the startups in agriculture and healthcare and all. But then there's a bigger question. What is the average income of a farmer in India? Do you know how much it is? We have seen farmers committing suicide just because they were not able to pay back a loan of 10,000 rupees or 5,000 rupees. right? We have seen what happened in the whole Vibharba area for cotton farmers, right? Now the question is, how do we make sure this technology is accessible to them, right? Like, there's a cost. Nobody's giving this for free, right? So that's one critical aspect I have. Secondly, as much as this technology, I mean, I've been in this, we were both following this technology. As much as I'm a big fan of this game-changing technology, there's a question, how much of signal is there out of the noise, right? Right now, another challenge I'm seeing is every company is an AI company, right? There was an interesting video done by this YouTube news organization called Morning Breakfast, right? They have this video, they say, this company comes, we want to modernize. And the consultant say, okay, we will make it AI. Reebok comes, what? We want to modernize. Reebok AI. Jaguar comes, we want to modernize. Right? Jaguar AI. So this is another trend that's happening. Everybody's trying to jump into this bandwagon. And generative AI had made it much worse, I will say. So, and on the other side, if AI is going to solve all the problems, it's going to do the farmers' work, if it's going to, I mean, for a few years, yes, it's great that it can solve these farming challenges and healthcare challenges. But now the problem is it's doing the things I love to do. It's now writing poetry. It's now writing articles. It's now painting. So all this time saved by using technology, what should I do with my life now?
That's a wonderful question, and I am going to ask you as a, you can say, a sequential question on that. So yes, AI is going into the places where we never thought. I think 3 years back, we used to think that all the creative things, it is limited to human beings. All the decision-making things, we are going to limit to human beings. And AI is only a very good assistant or a tool or a partner in the journey of technology. But now it is taking over humans in many places. I think if you think about editing a video, editing a software, editing a poetry, write up whatever you're writing, ChatGPT does much better job than any content creator. I'm sorry if there are content creators, but yes, they do much better job than the starters. Where AI is coming into the picture is still where the problems are complex. We cannot train, we don't want to train AI to take it over as well, right? So it needs to be a combination of human plus technology where human can still drive, and the rules and regulations, the ethics and compliance are going to be the major, you can say guardrails in the process of defining what AI can do or what it should do. So I'm going to ask you a question because you are probably a much more knowledgeable person in that area. What kind of rules and regulations are coming now with all the Gen AI is going to the next level? Where do you think that guardrails needs to much more strengthen? How things are happening outside India? How things are happening in India? How can we take AI safely to the next generation?
Yeah, thank you for that. So I will ask you a question to everyone. Please raise the hand. Who here think AI is going to make you Iron Man? Who here thinks AI is Jarvis? AI is gonna make you Iron Man? Please raise the hand. Okay. Who thinks AI is going to be Terminator?
Very good to see that there are very less people who are actually expecting.
So that's the thing. Most people are in the middle. So I will tell you a personal experience I had. The biggest challenge with regulation is that, well, let's say there's a big group of people who don't want regulation. So recently I wrote an op-ed in NDTV. It was published last week. And soon after the op-ed was published, I got a call from someone from a top think tank. Hey, stop speaking about regulation if you are not getting paid to speak about regulation. I'm like, wow. You go and speak about the freedom of speech and you are questioning an article I wrote. So there is, and I've been criticized, when I'm in a consultation or I've been in a round table, they come and say, hey, don't put these ideas into the head of the regulators or the policy makers. Don't speak about enforcement mechanism. So what I believe, this is a personal perspective, I'm speaking on my own behalf, is that there is a huge group of people, very prominent, who don't want regulation in AI. So they come up with these terms like guidelines, guardrails. So the moment you speak about enforcement, they get all jittery, right? So we speak about AI safety. Do you know how we make sure our airplanes are safe? We have strong regulation. aviation is highly regulated. That's why these things, we are always flying in the sky and we don't have to worry that it's going to fall down at random point. And do you know what happened when we let an airline manufacturer regulate itself? Have you ever heard of the Boeing 737 MAX issue? So for profit, because I will give you a small context. So the Airbus 320 Neo was making the market, it was getting a lot of business. So Boeing's shares was down. So they wanted to compete with this aircraft. So they decided they will repurpose the 30, 40-year-old model, I think it's much older, 737. They will fit a more fuel efficient, larger engine, and we will sell this aircraft. And the idea is that since they are already working on the 737, you don't have to spend more money on R&D, and you don't have to spend more money on the maintenance and other training you have to provide. So they put this larger engine. Then they realized that this flight is kind of tilting at times. So they, without telling anyone, they put something called a software system. And that software system, which was controlled by a single sensor, was the FAA, the US regulator said, Boeing, we trust your ability to self-regulate. And what happened was they have this faulty mechanism with dependent on a single sensor, which went bad and resulted in the death of 300, 400 people in a couple of years back. 2-3 times it happened. Why? Because they didn't tell the pilots, because that will cost more money for the airline to retrain them. So in the end, it's all about the money, the profit. Now, one thing I keep hearing is human plus AI or AI plus human. I mean, if there's a company, right? We are running a company called ABC Incorporate. And we have 5 staff or 6 staff who are working 8 hours a week. Now, tomorrow, somebody comes and say, you know what, you are paying 50,000 average for this 8 staff, 4 lakh rupees a month. Why don't you subscribe to my AI tool, which is only at 30,000 rupees a month, and it will completely take 50% work from your workforce. And as a CEO, I will be like, okay, that's only 30,000, let me try. Now what will happen? I'm asking you this question. Now this AI tool, the subscription that's only costing 30,000, takes 50% work of the 6 people team. Do you think the CEO is going to go and tell them, you know what, we have the AI tool, so you guys take the rest of the day off every day? Or you just work 3 days a week? No. They're going to fire the 3 people because you just saved 1,50,000 rupees with this machine. So that's how the job displacement is going to happen. And that's how all these things. So now coming to regulation, the one big contradiction I have seen is that you have people like Sam Altman coming and saying one side, AI is going to take over the world. There's an existential threat. But then at the other point, all the same people say, hey, it's just language models. You don't need to be regulated. So that's my 2 cents on regulation.
Yeah, I think very fair point what Jibu has mentioned, that the guardrails and the guidelines versus the rules and regulation, the strictness of rules which needs to be incorporated. So if you take financial services as industry, the rules and regulations are extremely high, where you can't even utilize the open source technology or a ML model which is not 100% transparent. So that is one, you can say, corner of rules and regulation, because a lot of money is involved and people don't want to take risk whenever there is a money involved, right? So that is one case, or airlines industry are the places where rules and regulations are extremely involved. The similar way, those guidelines needs to come in other industries also, where the risk of humankind or risk of human life is very high. In AI world, if you would have heard, whenever you are building model, if people are data scientists here, the time you are putting a, you can say, proposal to in front of a business, they will ask what is going to be the accuracy. They are only worried about accuracy, and trust me, that should not be the benchmark of any AI solutions, you can say, performance evaluation. You have to think about what is the purpose you are utilizing to solve the problem. Second, what are the consequences of the failure of that model? So you talk about a marketing model, when you are trying to build a model to promote a product, and it failed. What is the loss? What did you lose? Probably some marketing money, but it is not going to shut down the company, nor it is going to harm human beings, 90% of the time. think about a AI model which is referring a medical system to a patient, and if that fails, something for airlines also. Probably the failure cost is humongous. A human life can be lost in the process, or many human lives, right? So the purpose needs to be defined, and rules and regulation needs to be allocated, aligned with that. Wherever there is a loss of human being, loss of money, loss of property, or anything which is irreplaceable, needs to be really guardrail, no matter which vertical it is. Either it is retail, either it is banking or healthcare or agriculture. Think about a farmer. If my model fails, one particular crop prediction, and a farmer goes bankrupt, human life is in the place, right? People do take their own life because they don't have any money to survive. So those cases needs to have a very strong guideline, very strong regulations, not just guidelines.
So, I mean, to add that, I think you are kind of touching upon the use model, use regulation. So you, as a AI regulation, which looks into from a tier of risk, right? So financial and healthcare are a high risk area where human lives are implemented. So the idea of EU's governance model is that
not just the healthcare or airlines business, the problem, right? For example, banking, when you are trying to promote your product, that is not that doesn't require a regulation. That only requires a guidelines. But when you are trying to predict the losses for bank, or which customer is going to not going to pay the money, that's a sensitive part.
So I agree with that way, right? There are areas where a life is under question, right? Or a serious decision is made that will affect the whole of the economy and all. You need higher regulation. So I think I also agreed with it for a long time. So this is what EU's regulation also looked into it, because there are two ways of looking at regulation. One is what UK proposes. They are like every sector has a authority, right? We have SEBI with stock market. We have ICMRA for healthcare. Let those do the regulation. But EU is saying as the risk increases, the more you should regulate. So if you look at the initial draft of EU's regulation, chatbots were placed as low risk. That then ChatGPT happened. Now my question for you is, there are numerous studies that we have found that by MIT and others that these LLMs were used for something called generative chemistry, for molecular. So it will find more new molecules, same technology that used for ChatGPT. Now they have ended up giving recipes to make poisonous nerve gases, bioweapons. So then there's a question, right? Even if something like a chatbot, which looks innocent, what if it is giving a, like you can just, there are cases where you can just show him, oh, these are the things I have in my garage, help me make a biochemical weapon.
Right.
What will we do in situations like that?
Very good question, and those are the corner cases one should be aware, and the companies like OpenAI and similar ones needs to be very cautious about how much information they are putting and how much they are exposing to general public, right? So one is the general public, how much it is available, and to people who really require it, right? The scientist or the defense mechanism or companies who really requires, it should be very, very limited to those companies. So I think those guardrails are coming into the picture. Even the people who are sitting in rules and regulation bodies, they are not very clear in terms of how to create it. India, we are working with a couple of agencies who are trying to understand how to even create the regulatory body. So DPDP is coming into the picture, where privacy of customer is very important, how much information a customer's privacy can be utilized by companies and how much they can market it. So India, it is like everyone, any Tom, Dick and Harry is calling you on your mobile, and there are so many scams going on. So how do we regulate? It is going to be a big thing now. And AI will help us to regulate as well. It is now getting utilized by all the scammers in a big way, but rules can be also, it's like a snake has a poison, but the same poison is utilized to make the medicine also, right? So if you use it in a right way, it can prevent things also.
So,
Call Arusha
I
or
mean, I
Priya.
just want to wrap up by saying
thought
one
Priya
more
was right
few things.
behind
So
me.
there is, my one concern is that oftentimes there is no deeper thought process is gone before deploying an AI tool. For example, there was an AI tool called Covers AI. I don't know if you have seen that. It's a 50 rupees subscription tool. what it does was it will convert any audio file into the sound of our Prime Minister Narendra Modi. So I don't know if you have seen a lot of songs sang by our Honorable Prime Minister. This was one of the tools it was used. Now, think about the logic of a developer putting a tool like that out in a country like India, where is a lot of cases of misinformation is spreading, right? What kind of thought process might have gone through that person's mind, knowing that it can be misused big time? And secondly, I was going through, I mean, as we all do during eating and during in cab and all, I scroll through my Instagram reels, and I saw this a very interesting reel about Jennifer Aniston, you know, the actress from Friends who played Rachel. She's giving this healthcare tip that it's a very contradictory statement about carbs. And I'm like, this isn't right. Why somebody who is a celebrity or who has top level nutrition is accessible is saying this kind of a ridiculous statement? Then later on I found out that was a deep fake. Now the question is, it's fall on me to decide what is deep fake and what is not deep fake. Meta is not going to take the responsibility. Nope. So that's the biggest question here, and I want to stop it with an open question. When things goes wrong, who takes responsibility? When flight crash, Boeing was brought to accountable, but that's not the case with AI. When you bring this question, you know, I'm saying a lot of misinformation on Instagram. Platforms are not taking in responsibility, right? Or if something goes wrong, they will say, oh, you can't blame us because there are people who provided us with data. There are other stakeholders involved. So I think unless we sort out this accountability question,
so
we would
I'll give an alternate example here. So Airtel has taken an initiative of finding the scammers and banning them and making sure that people will not be able to call for commercial purpose if they have taken a phone as a customer. So those companies are taking initiative, and what they are doing is utilizing AI to identify these scammers and block them for sure. So the similar thing, I think Meta and Facebook should also do, and other similar social networking platform should do and come up with something which can identify and label them in a different category altogether. People still want to see it, they can follow and still go to them, but at least some kind of you can say red flag can be created for these companies. So I think on an interest of time, as a departing words, what I see as AI is one of the great tool and partner which can change the humankind's. I have never thought that we can do AI for farmers or a simple, you can say, human being in India also. So AI is taking us to the places where we have never thought of going. It is helping us to change their life cycle, their entire, you can say, vision and mission. And it is going to change as long as we are creating those rules and regulation guardrails in a very stronger way, and also creating that human-centric technology where human is taking the calls and human is guiding and creating it and regulating AI. AI can be a very good assistant, but we should never allow it to become a better master for us.
So we should all look for a Jarvis that will make us Iron Man.
Yes, everyone is going to have their own Jarvis. ChatGPT is one to starting with, and you can make your own Jarvis. You can train with your own models and all. So yes, you can have your own Jarvis, or better than Jarvis, I would say.
Thank you very much, Shivani.
Thank you. Thanks a lot for all of your patience and hearing us out.
Yeah, if you have any questions, we'll be here. We'll be around this area. We'll be happy to. We can have a question there.
I think Monica has a question. Yes, Monica. One and only question we can take.
I'll Yeah. Hello. Audible? So I'm Dr. Maulika. I work in academic institution, GH Patel College of Engineering and Technology for 25 years. And my question is, I have 3 questions. AI and...
One.
3 in 1?
Just one. One at a time.
AI and ethics. AI and ethics. Please elaborate on this. Really concerned.
Jibu, go ahead. AI and ethics.
So the answer is, the first question is whose ethics? Yes, so that's the thing, right? When you see all the documents and guidelines that come when speaking about AI ethics, it has a general tendency to focus more about the Western way of ethics, right? As if we don't have any philosophical backdrop. If you look at India, we are rich in philosophical schools, Vaideshika, Nyaya school, Sankhya school, or Charvaga, which is a controversial one. But when it comes to AI, it's always, collectivism, deontology, individualism. So that's the first question. And I think right at this point, what I'm facing is, as an AI ethicist, there's a lot of ethics washing in AI, right? I mean, I've got fed up with certain terminologies that I kept using again and again, right? So there's a question. So I will stop here with one statement. The ethics of AI has two components, which nobody speaks about. One is the ethics of the AI tool itself, right? What kind of ethics the tool follows. Secondly, the question of, do you need to use a particular use case? So I will say these are the two strands of ethics. Yeah.
Hello? Hello? Hi, Shivani. Hi, Jibu. It was really interesting to listen to the session. I have a question. Actually, I am from Microsoft, and we are working on a pre-production validation system for Azure. We use data science as part of the recommendations for our product. Now, my question is, where do you think data science transitions into artificial intelligence?
See, simple. Hello. The simple question is the time you are replacing a human and giving some powers for decision making to technology, that is where I call it as a artificial intelligence. The time you have created the recommendation engine, that is data science. But if it is, you have 10 recommendation system and it is giving recommendation as per the requirement of a system, that is where it can go to next level as artificial intelligence.